to the show. I remind, I guess, there's a giveaway today, correct?
Oh, yes. Yes, there is. I'm happy to provide today's giveaway. As you've already shown to the good people, I've got a 1 ounce near pure silver coin here. Let me see if I can center that. There we go. You've already seen it. But yes, happy to provide this, and I'll ship it anywhere in the world. I'll give my email, I guess, at the end of the stream, so I can get the person's information, get that out to them with some stickers as well. Shameless plug. Woo! Lord of the Rings.
Plug away, plug away.
Yes,
Right on. Susan's East Coast Digs. Thank you for joining. I do appreciate that. Right on, right on. So, Ryan, briefly, for people who may not have come across your channel yet, briefly give us a little blurb about who you are, what you do.
Sure. So I've been detecting for just 3 years and change, but in that time, I have become absolutely enthralled in this hobby and out every weekend, often more than once, multiple permissions. This is really what I do. I'm not a family man. I'm not married, so when when the weather's good, I'm out detecting or trying to get new permissions to hunt as well. So, but yeah, the channel is on its humble beginnings, starting to gain some following now, and I really appreciate you having me on today to help get the word out.
Wonderful. Now, I usually start off the show with reading your little YouTube bio, so I'm just going to do that. Now, your About Me says, a channel featuring metal detecting in and around Southern Ontario, Canada. From 1800s permissions to water hunts and ring recoveries, it's all about finding that treasure and having fun along the way. Now, I gotta ask you, and people are probably wondering, how did that Hoard of the Rings come about? Where'd you dream up that name?
I'm very happy with the name that I've finally settled on. My YouTube channel has sort of evolved over the years up till this point. So I originally conceived the name Hoard of the Rings when James Matthias from Relic Expeditions and myself we were discussing the possibility of creating a podcast for diggers. I mean, there's more of them out there, including yours, of course. Had some ideas. So that was one of the names I had brainstormed at the time. And after a couple months of grinding away, trying to come up with a name for my own channel, I decided that Hoard of the Rings was pretty awesome. It really sort of grew on me. And so I implemented the change to my own channel. And we've decided on a different name for the podcast that James and I are going to be launching very soon, but more on that later.
Excellent. Good stuff. Now, your bio mentioned water hunting, so I'm going to start with that if you don't mind.
Sure.
How did you get started in water hunting?
Well, after about my first year of detecting, my first machine was a Garrett Ace 400, sorry, which is not waterproof. And I really wanted to get into the water. After following a lot of other YouTubers, I realized, hey, there's a lot out there underwater. And I've always been big on water sports and things like that. So it was kind of a natural thing to get into the water. I went out and bought a Garrett AT Pro to use underwater, but I found it a little bit heavy, a little bit cumbersome. And as you know, they are a machine that's buoyant. So in doing like a ring recovery in the St. Lawrence, for instance, the machine was very quickly trying to drift away from me rather than staying where I had put it. So there were some challenges there. But in short, so my second time getting in the water, I was using the AT Pro. I decided, you know what, I want to travel light, try something different. So I took my pinpointer, just the pinpointer alone, and started sweeping the bottom. And over the course of an hour, I found a couple pieces of silver. And as I was heading back into shore in about 3 or 4 feet of water, I got another ring on the pinpointer and gave it a sweep with my swim fin to clear a bit of the sand away. And lo and behold, I pulled out an 18 karat gold ring here, which is quite old, from what the jeweler tells me, and it's worth more than I imagined it would be. So this was something that just.
Did you not send me a picture of that?
I believe I did. Yeah, it
Okay,
should be just
let me see if
18
I can.
karat gold
Yeah, let
ring.
me see
So
if I can
yeah, the
find that.
picture might do it better justice, but
All right, I'm
yeah,
sorry. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'm going to pop it up on the screen when I
sure,
find
yeah.
it. But yeah, sorry. Keep talking about that.
At any rate, the ring had been down there for likely decades based on its condition. I mean, gold generally doesn't tarnish, but it had enough silt and slime on it over years of being pushed around that actually looked more like brass. So it wasn't until I took it to a jeweler and had it cleaned that I literally almost fainted and fell on the floor at the jeweler's when they brought it back out, buffed and polished, looking like it currently is. So, anyways, yeah, there's real treasure out there. To all new detectors or people that are getting frustrated, there's some amazing stuff out there to be found. And this hobby just absolutely has me hook, line, and sinker.
I've got the ring up on the screen now. Wow,
Ah, yes.
that's crazy.
It is insane. Yeah. I mean,
Wow.
for within a first year of detecting to find something like this certainly can't be common, but it is possible. So
Wow. Crazy.
yeah. I've also done a couple of ring recoveries. I'm a member of the Ring Finders. So this is almost exactly my year anniversary of joining as a team with James Matthias.
Ah.
So we've done quite a few ring recoveries together. Also want to give a shout out to Carlos V. Carlos, I'm sorry I can't pronounce your last name properly. Actually, Liz, I know you know this name. Vascalienta Vasca. I'm gonna
Vasconcelos?
Yes, that's the guy. So shout out to Carlos. He actually helped me follow through on a gold wedding band ring recovery in the St. Lawrence River. That's
Wow.
on this past summer's videos on my channel if anyone wants to check that out. But
Mm-hmm.
I struggled in the river with my experience and the gear that I had, and this is before I had bought myself a weight belt. So I
Mm-hmm.
got thrown around in the river and was not able to get the ring in my hand. So Carlos came in and saved the day. So I
That you
just wanted
mean
to give a shout out to him.
that gold ring?
Not that gold ring. This
Oh,
was a
okay.
different one. Yeah. So
Oh,
the
okay.
gold ring that you had up on this screen there
Yeah.
was actually found in a back lake
Oh,
campground swim area. That I had already detected a couple times lightly,
wow.
and lo and behold, here it was. So it just sparks the imagination to find
Wow.
something like this or see someone else find something that's like, oh my god, like that's
Yeah.
there's stuff out there wherever people have been.
Yes,
They've lost
absolutely.
items, as you
Yes.
know. So
Hey, Andrew
yeah.
T says, do you know the approximate weight of that the gold ring?
Yeah, so the gold ring is 16.1 grams. Yeah, so
Wow.
it's lunky. It's lunky. The pictures, yeah, it's a
Wow.
heavy ring, and that was my first thought when I was even in the water with it in my palm. I was like, "This is heavy.
Crazy.
I wonder if it's
Crazy.
brass." And then when I saw the 18K on it,
Whoa.
I swallowed a bit of lake water. I got pretty excited.
Wow, that's crazy. Craziness.
Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
I would imagine that after that you were hooked on water detecting.
Oh yeah, yeah. Pretty much every weekend or every other weekend, whenever the weather would allow, or if it was a day that was a little hot to be out in the fields, jamming shovels in the dirt and such, I
Yeah.
would opt to find a swim area, and I've had a lot of success. It's a very different type of detecting,
Yeah.
very immersive. I
Yeah.
mean, with the snorkel and mask and getting right underwater, it's very peaceful, very exciting. One of my favorite forms of hunting for sure.
Really? Now,
Oh yeah,
do you go you mentioned the like 4 feet. Do you go deeper than that, or are you looking maybe to
um,
upgrade your equipment to go deeper?
absolutely. This winter, I will be ordering a surface breathing pump, surface breather,
Mm-hmm.
like a hookah. There's
Yeah.
many names for these devices,
Mm-hmm.
but my intention is for now not to go super deep. I'm not a certified a diver by any means. Carlos has been giving me a lot of great input and tips, and I've had the pleasure of doing a couple of water hunts with Carlos just
Mm-hmm.
on a recreational level.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, that guy has so much experience. I was trying to be a little sea sponge around him and take in all the information I could. So yeah, but it's one of my favorite forms of treasure hunting for sure is
Mm-hmm.
getting in the water. It's easier on the back to just kind of float
Yeah,
around
no
and
kidding. Yeah, if you have problems with your knees and that kind of stuff, that'd be perfect.
yeah, yeah.
Right
Yeah,
on.
I've beat up my body over the years between yeah, motocross and a lot of other endeavors that have beat me up a little bit. Detecting is one of these things that it's great. You can go out and pick and choose what you want to put yourself through on a given day.
Yes, yes. Now, uh, kind of segued into metal detecting. Now, how does somebody get into metal detecting out your way? Did you,
So for myself, it was something that I'd always had an interest in, but the very few people in my friend circle that detected basically said, don't buy the cheapest machine out there. Get something that you're going to have success with. You're going to be able to learn, and I'm glad I did that. So long story short, a friend of mine had this used Garrett Ace 400. He had just upgraded to an AT Pro, and he came out to a cottage I had rented, and we spent the day drifting around a couple of different old homestead sites. We went to the beach. We went to an old mine that's in close proximity, and we had. I was absolutely hooked from the first time. I'm like, how is there a fish lure way out here in the middle of this field? And then we went to the beach. I pulled my first silver ring my
Mm.
first day detecting, albeit a very small, dainty one. It was a silver ring. And yeah, from that point, I filmed that day, and that was my first dig video over 3 years ago. And yeah, as you can see by my channel, I'm about to post my 125th straight metal detecting video, which is it's starting to build up now, and
Hmm.
with these permissions, especially in this last year, it's opened up some amazing ground with a lot of history,
Hmm.
and the list is continually growing, with some very exciting prospects, everywhere from a bank robber's former homestead and farm, one of the original members of the Boyd gang from Toronto. James and I have detected there a couple times, found some very interesting items, including I've sent you a picture of this as well. But as soon as I got out of the truck and fired up my machine, I found this carriage nameplate from
Um,
McLaughlin,
let me.
and yeah, so
Wow, the cleaned up version looks pretty good. Let's put the
yeah,
cleaned up on there. So that's
absolutely, yeah.
there you go.
I'm sure I could polish
Wow.
that up a lot more, but I'm so afraid of harming it, that yeah, I don't want to put anything aggressive to it or any chemicals. However, McLaughlin would eventually move on to become the General Motors of Canada. So this
Ah.
is a very, very early sort of transition from higher end carriages, horse-drawn carriages,
Mm.
eventually to move on to the modern vehicles that we know today. So I got
Wow.
super excited when I found this, especially on a homestead with such history.
Mm-hmm.
And so the current property owner has told me that there is a hidden stash on this property somewhere, and she
Ooh.
doesn't know where. But so the member that I'm speaking of is George Galt, and George
Oh.
Galt did, I believe, one or two, based on what I've read in the history books, successful bank robberies with the Boyd gang.
Mm.
And he was too afraid to spend any of his cut, and I believe it's buried on his farm property. And with the help of a couple of the members from the Southeastern Ontario Metal Detectorists, I would like to return there with 5 or 6 members and see if we can get on the property and find George's stash.
Wow.
It's
That
going to be
that would be incredible.
it would be coins or bills from the
Wow.
late 50s to early 60s as well. So very
Wow.
exciting prospect. There's a few others as well, but I'm
Wow.
going to keep them under my cap. But this summer could hold some incredible finds.
Wow. You're as I said earlier, you're blessed to dig in a super historic area. I mean, my
Yes.
gosh.
Absolutely. The history here, both in Kingston and surrounding area, and north of here, west of here, east of here, there's just so many options, so much history. Old maps have become very key
Mm.
in deciphering where we are relative to what happened
Mm-hmm.
50, 100, 200 years ago or more.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and the ground is telling us that we're honing in on some amazing spots. And like I said, the community here has been fantastic about reaching out and offering their permissions, their homes, their farms, their fields,
Mm-hmm.
for us to go and detect. And the more we do, and the better reputation we get, and the more we get our names out there, the
Mm-hmm.
quicker people are coming and coming to the plate and offering their amazing permissions. So
Mm-hmm.
I hope that this is going to continue. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so
Wow.
it's exciting stuff. We're even going to be doing some live Facebook streams from the field. James and I are doing a collaborative effort with both our YouTube channels. I just want to tease this.
Go ahead.
We're
Go
going to
ahead.
be doing the first one in about a month, and it's going to be called Live from the Field, where we're going to be going on these spectacular permissions. Both James has a roster of incredible permissions, both on Wolf Island and in the area surrounding Kingston. Absolutely amazing permissions. So the plan is we are going to go onto these sites and spend the first part of the day marking targets, but not digging them. We're going to flag 4, maybe 5 targets
Mm-hmm.
each that have
Mm-hmm.
good potential,
Mm-hmm.
and we're going to go live, and we are each going to dig those targets live on YouTube, so
Mm-hmm.
people can see real time what we discover,
Mm-hmm.
not just, hey, we were out a week ago, here's what we found. People are going to be able to join us as the shovels hit the ground and we turn over these items, whether they're good, whether they're bad, whether we get a laugh out of it. We want to try and get it, get people as close to the action as we can. And we
Uh-huh.
figure in a live format like this, it's logistically more difficult, but we really want to put people right there when we're digging these items up. So very
Exactly.
excited. Live from the field, watch for that coming. And we're going to be giving away items every stream as well.
Right on. Right on. Now, I don't think we've asked or you've mentioned, what detector are you currently using?
So currently I have the Nokta double score, and I am absolutely in love with it. Anyone who's watched any of my videos from the last 4 months knows that I'm all about this machine, especially coming from an AT Pro.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lighter machine. The fact that the handle vibrates, larger display. Again, it was the right move for me, and it has me very excited to try different machines during this coming season,
Mm-hmm.
and broaden my own skill set
Mm-hmm.
as well, to understanding different machines, different tones. Again, I have a lot to learn, but I've been out twice a weekend for, like, when the weather's good, for well over the last 2 years. So I
Mm-hmm.
feel like I've made a lot of progression. I've learned a lot. The community is so incredible. Like, I mean, just our club alone has drawn in some very experienced detectorists. Jason Corbett was one of the first
Mm-hmm.
to join in with the club.
Mm-hmm.
Digging for life, as you know.
Yes.
Um, Carlos as well is a very experienced individual. I think he's used to being a lone wolf and running, running on his own. But he's so knowledgeable and just the nicest guy. So he's
Mm-hmm.
been very eager to reach out and again be our the call-in guy when a ring recovery is too deep for myself or
Mm-hmm.
James to safely make a recovery attempt. We'll call Carlos up to come in on regulated air and get the job done. So for me, when I'm getting a surface breather, so I can get and stay on the bottom longer. But I won't be in much more than 6 to 8 feet of water until I develop the skills to do it safely.
Mm-hmm.
As you know, you
Absolutely.
can get really excited in the pursuit of treasure, but no treasure's worth taking unnecessary risks for.
No.
So
No.
I'm trying to take baby steps.
Absolutely not.
As excited as I am,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like your channel and your digging is just gonna explode this year.
Things are going well. I'm very excited to keep creating content, keep meeting great people in this community.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing, absolutely
Mm-hmm.
amazing. I've never been more obsessed with a hobby in my life, and there's been a lot.
Now, most of it sounds like all of your digging is permissions. Now, if there's someone out in the chat or someone watching this and they're like, how the heck do I get permissions? Like, I know that's like a super complicated, or can be process, but initially, like, what would you say to somebody?
Well, don't be afraid to go out and knock on a few doors. And if you have too much anxiety about doing that, one method I employ is to reach out on social media, like Facebook, for instance. There will be groups for general areas. In my case, What's Happening South Frontenac is a
Mm,
page with a ton of members in the local community that they keep track of what's happening. So I would put a post up there, explain who I am, put up a few pictures of some amazing old relics and coins that I have found, and just explain what I do and that I'm looking for properties that the property owners can basically have pick of the litter. If there's something related to their family history or something that they think is amazing, they can keep those items. People have been really curious to know what's on their land after seeing what James and myself have produced from them. So don't be shy. There's a lot of good people out there that are gonna smile back at you and say, "Well, that sounds very interesting. I'll take your information and get back to you. Maybe we want to know what's on our property." And get yourself a good reputation. Be very neat and respectful with other people's properties. Reparate the ground properly. Take neat plugs. Try and leave it in as good or better condition, and you'll get a good reputation to for doing this. So, but
mm-hmm.
certainly don't be afraid. If there's a permission that you drive by and you're thinking to yourself, "My goodness, that's a 1700s, 1800s home. I wonder." Go knock on the door because they might be wondering too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And once you do it a few times, it's not as nerve wracking. Trust me. The one time you get a yes, or the more yeses you get, and you start getting on some incredible permissions, it motivates you to suck it up, put a smile on, and go knock on somebody's door.
Yeah. Now, I would
So
imagine
worst
that.
case, you're gonna get a no. Worst case, you're gonna get it. Nah, it's not for us, and
Yeah.
move on down the road.
Mm-hmm. Now, I would imagine that permissions lead to further permissions, and oh, my friend this, and oh, the gentleman down the road this, and that sort of thing.
Oh,
So reputation,
absolutely.
like how you treat the property, like you said, is key.
Yeah, people talk, and yeah, you're absolutely right. It's all about networking. I
Mm,
mean, especially people in rural areas like I'm from. People talk, and they like to share information.
yeah.
And good news travels well as bad news.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, be respectful, and don't make a mess of people's properties.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, that should go without saying, but hey, you know, just like anywhere, if we're digging on public property,
Mm-hmm.
oh God, be respectful, and
Mm-hmm.
try not to leave any traces.
Do
I'm
you
sure
in
many
do
of us
you
as
in your
detectors.
area of Kingston? Do you like are parks available out in Kingston, or are you mainly on private property, like permissions?
Well, for myself now, it's been almost exclusively private property, with exception of water hunts, where
Ah, okay.
the legality works in our favor. Once you're in the water, you're generally okay to dig legally. But for myself, the private permissions have been producing the most. And
Mm-hmm.
in a lot of cases, there have been some really pretty, really beautiful properties for filming detecting content on.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so for the most part, like, I'm not a big park guy these days,
Mm-hmm.
especially in Kingston. We have a small footprint with some very talented detectorists, and some of these parks they've been hit more than once.
Oh, I
And I
gotcha.
feel like, yeah, I mean, there's still good things out there, and there's fresh drops all the time. Don't get me wrong, but for me,
Yeah.
it's all about the private permissions, and
Yeah.
and trying to plan ahead.
Hmm. Now,
So,
people are. I'm sure people are dying, as am I. What's your? We want to see some finds. What are
oh,
what?
100%. Yeah.
Let's. What do you think is your bet? Like you said you've been detecting for a couple years now. That might be hard,
Yeah.
especially when you dig in crazy historically areas like you dig. What would you say is the best thing you've ever detected? If you had to pick one.
Yeah, it's a tough question because I'm out there hunting both modern jewelry, like at the piers and beaches and stuff and such, but also these old permissions that will put out incredible items. I've sent you a picture of this, which is going to show it a lot better. But I was detecting for, my goodness, probably about a year and a half. I went to Wolf Island with James and Jason Corbett, and I went into the woods to get out of the wind, and I dug this swan buckle, snake buckle. It's there's a few different names and styles of these,
There
but
you go. I
this
got it up
is
on the
Civil
screen.
War. Okay, this is Civil War era or potentially older buckle. And when I first dug it, it was so packed in clay, mud, etc. I tried to clean it off a bit, and I immediately was like, okay, I think this is a buckle of some kind, maybe from a suspenders, like a farmer's setup or something. None of the detail was showing. And talk about Hawkeye, Jason Corbett from like 25 feet away. He goes, "Did you just dig that?" I said, "Yeah, I found it in the woods." I said, "You guys got a buckle? I got kind of a buckle too." And the look on his face, I was like, "What?" He grabs it from me and brushes it off, and he goes, "You don't know what that is?" And I said, "Actually, I don't." And he said, "That's the find of the day." And as he cleaned it off and showed me the detail, I was just like, what?" And yeah, so thank God for him. If I hadn't dusted it off and cleaned it properly, I'm sure I would have taken a closer look. However,
Probably.
he really saved the day that day. Yeah, yeah. So this is definitely old, and you can actually see some of the gold gilding is still visible
Let's see.
beside the clasp. So
Beside the
yeah,
let's see. Try.
it might be difficult to see even in the picture, but
Yeah.
it was gold gilded. So at any rate, that's one that is definitely makes me excited.
Wow, crazy, crazy.
About a year and a half ago, I found my first skeleton key, and
oh, hang on,
this
let me
was
pop you up.
on
There you go.
an island. Yeah,
Oh, that's nice.
beautiful skeleton key.
Yes.
Yeah, this is one. A key like this was on my bucket list pretty much from day one. I think skeleton keys, old ornate keys like this, are just absolutely beautiful. So that was great to knock off the bucket list. When the bucket list is shrinking, but absolutely love old items like that key. As the channel name implies, I think I've found well over 30 rings now, not for ring finders recoveries, rings I got to bring home, a lot of silver, which is fantastic. I just love finding stuff like that, especially in the water, because it's generally exposed slowly as you're clearing the silt away. You might see the shape of what the item is, and until you get it in your hand and get it in the light, it's just so exciting. Water hunting is a very unique and a special way to hunt treasure. I absolutely love it.
There's a request from Popcan Dan. He says, Ryan, show the horse rosette.
Oh goodness. Okay.
Do you have that there?
I do. It's right behind me. It was showcased on your stream 2 weeks ago, but I'm more than happy to show it again.
Absolutely. And yeah, when you talk about it, I'll pop it up on the screen.
Great.
Oh, look at that. You've got your little display there. Very nice.
This is one of them.
Very nice.
I didn't know this one would be too small when I started using it. So yeah, I believe you have a picture of this as well.
I do.
I rarely even handle this because I'm so afraid of them separating. But this is a bridal rosette that was found on Wolf Island. Popcan Dan was actually the one that identified what this was and the potential era. We were digging on Wolf Island.
You know what? That actually looks way better than the picture, because you could. Is that glass?
It is glass. It's,
that looks. I'm gonna pop it up for a second, the picture. But you know what? You holding it up there, it looks amazing like that.
Yeah, it's difficult to get the light on it without glare, but
that looks wonderful.
And the cooler thing was, this was actually the second one I found that day. 7 feet from this, I found the first one, which was a lot more beat up. You could barely see through it. And
a bridal rosette? You found two?
Bridal rosette.
Wow.
They were a matching pair.
Oh, my God.
Fortunately, I got it on video, and you could see in the GoPro footage that it was the same horse, the same feature,
Wow.
facing the other direction. So these were left
Oh.
and right bridle rosettes, which the rarity of finding these alone
I
is
don't think I've
amazing.
ever seen that before.
So the
Wow.
first one, I went to clean off the glass with my rag, and it fell apart. The paint
Oh.
disintegrated in my hands, and I had to edit out 9 swear words in a row. So I took 2 steps after reparating the ground, showing the guys like, I don't know what this is, but this was, there was paint on this. This was a hand painting. So I took
Wow.
2, maybe 3
Crazy.
steps away,
Crazy.
and I got the same tone, like a 66, 67
Ah.
on my then AT Pro, and I'm like, no way. Turned the ground over, and it was this side up in the plug, and I could see the horse through it. And I
Wow.
immediately started yelling at the guys. A couple more swear words, just blew my mind. So when Popcan Dan came over, he knew exactly what it was, and my excitement level went from an 8 to an 11.5. So
Wow.
thank you, Dan, for identifying that. Popcan Dan is awesome. Check out his channel if you haven't. If you don't know who he is, you're living under a rock. But awesome guy, and we had such a great time that day. So many laughs. But yeah, Dan's the one that said that's a rosette, bud.
Wow.
And
I
that's
think
pretty cool.
that's probably the nicest. I'm gonna go on a limb here and say that I think that's the nicest bridal rosette I have ever seen.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I'm flattered that you say that. I may not have the skills of a 10-year
Wow.
detectorist, but I do have luck. Anyone who's dug with me may be able to
Wow.
attest that I seem to be able to find good stuff.
You know
And
what? You know
I'm
what?
very blessed that way.
I found that the newer and if this isn't an always a statement, but new detectorists make some amazing finds because they seem to dig it all. They dig those questionable signals that more experienced people would say,
Yep.
Wow.
Absolutely, I agree.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes it's a happy accident, or you're like, I know this tone isn't great,
Yeah.
but if you're hunting somewhere that's quiet for signals, you might be more liable to let curiosity get the best of you. But yeah, a lot of people out there are they're waiting for that signal before they dig it, and I totally understand. I've had days where my pouch is overflowing with undesirables, but that's also how you learn. So
Exactly how you learn. Exactly how you learn. Now, is there and I'm sure your list of stuff that you want to dig is probably pretty big, but is there like one main item that you're hoping to dig someday?
absolutely, and that is a pistol. A revolver in particular
Mm-hmm.
is near the top of my bucket list. An old weapon. A rifle would be amazing too. Don't get me wrong, but a pistol, a revolver, to pull something like that out of the ground, especially one that's safe, old enough, and rusted so that it isn't dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Something that I would be able to keep and display and share a story about finding someday. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, definitely an old revolver, I think, would be just the cat's meow.
Hey, Relic Expedition says that Ryan digs many more signals than he would on a regular basis, and it's paid off with you. It's paid off for you. Sorry.
Yeah, well, that's cool. That's very cool that James to say. Yeah, he's seen me dig a lot of crud, but he's also, he's had me holler at him in a few cases where it was a meh signal, and pulled something cool out of the ground. One iron signal that I pulled on Wolf Island really took me back. I was actually searching for it ended up being clad, but I had a tone I thought might be a coin. I pulled it out of the ground behind an old church, and this is a permission, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And directly under it, as I scanned with my machine, there was another signal, but I'm like, oh, that's what the iron was. This wham, wham. I thought, okay, this has to be like a spike or something. Out of curiosity, I wiggled under the roots and pulled out the target. Bear with me. I'm just going to grab it here.
Go get it. Go get it.
So when I first pulled this out of the ground, I was like, what am I looking at? And as I dusted it off, hello.
Oh.
This is actually Yeah, Jesus from what would have been mounted on a crucifix, and he got no
Wow.
legs. He got a half arm and a stump. So I'm considering doing some 3D printing to rebuild them.
Ah, very
But yeah,
nice.
again, horrible signal. But I mean, how cool is that to find an old item like this? So from what I was told, uh, Jason Corbett, I believe, was the one who said, "Listen, like things like that would not be good for people to find at a dump or disposed of, given
Hmm.
its religious,
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Mm-hmm.
meanings, etc., and that they probably would have intentionally buried things like this once they were broken or no longer in
Mm.
service, etc.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this was dropped and shattered or something, and they had to get rid of it. It was about 60 feet into the woods behind this old church. But again, it was a signal that I'm sure most of us would be like, no, not for me. I'm moving on. I
Mm-hmm.
just happened to dig it, being it was under modern coin that got my attention. And lo and behold, it's something that I still giggle about when I see. And I think it's pretty neat. I think it's not something that you'll find every day. So
Exactly.
sometimes listen to the signals that are, okay, dig it up. It's
Mm-hmm.
worth a shot. Worst
Mm-hmm.
case, you get a piece of crud out of the ground or off of a permission. So
Mm-hmm.
people have been pretty happy to see all the bad stuff that I've taken off of their land, in addition to the neat stuff that I've got to show them on my tailgate at the end of a hunt. So
Mm-hmm. Now,
pretty well.
is there something that you've like dug and you're really excited about it, and then the landowner or somebody said, "Hey, I'd like that."
It happens, but I mean that's the deal. That's the agreement. I've been given the permission. I've been lucky enough to go and dig these items, and given the nature of what I do, I've already documented that find. Tried to take as many pictures as I could, depending
Mm-hmm.
on what the item is. But yes,
Mm-hmm.
certainly homeowners have opted to keep some items, um, among which were like 3 ring bullets. I've just recently, well, not recently, in November, in a permission that I had already performed a ring recovery, I went back to this 1800s property and pulled up a 1921 Lowborough Township dog tag. In
Oh.
absolutely amazing condition. And I thought that was pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And the property owners are dog people themselves, and they
Ah.
were
Okay.
thrilled to
Mm-hmm.
take that for their little shelf, their little display
Mm-hmm.
area. And the
Mm-hmm.
fact that it came from this property, they were pretty excited. And I got to show it on that video. That's the twin silvers on the old path. And yeah, so, but people do keep things. Surprisingly, often most people aren't interested in keeping the old coins, like the large cents, the
Mm-hmm.
bank tokens. I've been very lucky that way, that they're like, we just want to see what was here and what you found.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time, people are like, you've just spent 4 hours finding that stuff,
Yeah.
take it with you and be proud of it. So it's been great, but it does happen. And you have to smile and shake their hand and hope that they'll invite you back to find some more stuff.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, what's the oldest coin? Or bank
So
token
my
or token, just the oldest that you've dug.
So my oldest confirmed Canadian coin is 1837, and I have it behind me here. That is a bank token,
Mm-hmm.
and that was found. Hello, Wolf Island, once again. Separate permission. We found quite a few cool coins in the field behind the farmhouse. There was a couple neat finds. The digging dudes were there, and I
Mm-hmm.
believe it was Jeff. He dug an LC, and Will found a really cool old brooch pin that
Mm-hmm.
the property owner ended up keeping.
Mm-hmm.
But myself, yeah, 1837. Bear with me; it's right behind me
Go
here.
get it. Go get it. Hey, Cashmole is in the house. Cashmole, my gosh. Welcome to the chat. Great to have you here. Do appreciate that.
That's it. So it's 1837 un sou. And
Yes.
that's the face side.
Very
Sorry,
nice.
it's not focusing well, but it is
No, we can see it.
1837
Yep.
at the bottom. And yeah, okay, wonderful. And I'll flip that over, show you the back side. So it has the standing
Oh,
figure.
the habitant.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. There's so much to learn in
Oh,
this
you know
hobby,
what?
both with
Just
coins.
the tokens alone, pre-Canada tokens, it
Oh,
would be a heck of a collection if you can get them all. Like, it would be crazy
oh,
collection.
wow.
And there's so
Yeah,
much
well,
that you can learn.
absolutely. And that's the other thing about this hobby is that you inadvertently end up learning so much as far as history in general. But I know more about Canadian coins now than I would have expected to.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something that I go and grind and try and fill my brain with. But as I
Mm-hmm.
find coins,
Mm-hmm.
I ask questions, I research them, and again, a lot of that information sticks, and you get smarter as you go.
Mm-hmm.
Darcy from Cat Valley Diggers is an absolute whiz when it comes to identification of coins.
Mm-hmm.
He'll tell you, oh, it's this year. They did it for this many years. Um, I've had coffee with the guy and just absolutely grilled him for information so that I feel like I'm smarter when I get back out on the field.
Mm-hmm. Actually,
So
I hope to have Darcy as a guest. So,
you
Darcy,
should.
here's
Yes.
here's an invite. We are live, Darcy. I would love to have you on the show. So, send me an email and let's pick a date and let's make that happen.
I would
Definitely
also
make that
love to
happen.
call out Popcan Dan. I want to see you on here. I want to know more about
Oh
the
my
guy. Like,
goodness,
I've only talked to him a
the
couple times in my
oh
life, but he's such a cool
oh
cat,
right on.
and I want to know more about his
Oh
origins
my
and his
gosh,
story.
Popcan Dan, there you go. The gauntlet has been laid down for you as well, live. We need to get you on the show, my friend. We need to talk.
Do it, Dan. Do it.
Oh
Do it
my
now.
gosh. We have a giveaway still. You know what? Let me just see if I can pop up the coin on the screen.
Sure.
Um, let me pop that up. We have a giveaway to everyone that's watching, and you have to be present to win it. So if you left to go do something, it's not going to happen. But here it is. Here's the coin. How crazy is that? How crazy is that?
This coin is thick too. Um, oh, there you go. Yeah, you can show the face side. Yeah, they're a beefy 1 ounce pure silver coin, and yeah, so someone in the chat here is going to have this sent to them with some stickers as well. So I appreciate the chance to share some information about my channel this morning, Liz, and the least I can do is provide a big hunk of silver for one of your viewers.
Right, right on, right on. Now, you're willing to ship this anywhere on planet Earth, correct?
Yep, absolutely.
So how do you get in on it? You need to right now. You need to leave a comment right now in the chat. If you're lurking, the bot that picks the names does not know that you want in on this. So you need to type a comment into the chat right now. We're going to give you maybe a minute or so. We're going to continue talking. We're going to give about a minute or so, but you need to comment. Like I said, if you're lurking, bot doesn't know that you want in on this, so you need to write something down in the chat. Going to give you about a minute. We're going to keep talking. I'm going to leave this up on the screen to wet your little whistle. So yeah, it's 1
Good luck
ounce.
to
1 ounce.
everyone.
Yeah, 1 ounce
Yeah.
of 99939 silver. Get in on
Absolutely.
it. Get in on it right now. Get in on it. So Ryan, are you on social media at all?
I am. I don't have a dedicated Facebook page for the Hoard of the Rings channel as of yet, but I do post my videos and such links on my website, just Ryan Pugh. But I think I am going to be launching a dedicated Facebook for the channel in short time.
Mm-hmm.
So otherwise, yeah, no, not yet on TikTok or Instagram. So I'm going to be spreading the wings now that I've solidified the forever name of my channel. And I've got a bit of momentum going. I'll be doing so. So watch for those links down the road as well. So,
Are you on Twitter?
Thanks for asking.
Are you on Twitter?
I am not on Twitter. I'm a stubborn old boy who's working towards launching on those platforms as well.
Gotta say, when you dabble in all, if you partake in every single piece of social media, that takes up a lot of your time to keep everything updated.
It certainly does. Just editing these long form videos alone, as you know, is very time consuming. I do work a full-time job, so yeah. So evenings and weekends are my time to either get digging or edit what I've already done, and it's an awful lot of hours.
Mm-hmm.
But certainly I will be launching onto those additional platforms as well, trying to
Mm-hmm.
get some eyes on what I'm doing, because it is
Mm-hmm.
a lot of work. And if nobody's watching, I'm just going to stop taking my cameras.
Nonsense. And if you're watching it and you didn't notice by now, Ryan's channel has been a pinned comment since the beginning of the show. It's also, I'm going to put it in the description as well. Check out his channel, and I think you're down to like 10 seconds. 10 seconds to enter a comment
luck,
in
everybody.
the chat. And
Good luck.
just so you know, it is the bot that picks the name, and the name is random. We have no control over that, and it will appear in the chat. So keep your eyes on the chat. Let me go to this. There you go. Let me go to this. There's the bot. All right. So we have 34 entries. 34 entries. If you're not sure whether you're in or not, you've got like 2 seconds to enter a comment. 2 seconds. And it doesn't matter if you're in France, Czech Republic, wherever else you are, he's going to send it to you if you win. So how cool is that? Worldwide shipping.
Earthbound locations.
Right on, right on. All right. I think we're going to do it. I am going to 10 seconds, and it's going to appear on your screen. So look at the screen, watch the chat. There is a bit of a delay, so it might
Good luck, everybody.
Right on. All right, here goes.
Fighting cat.
Oh my God, you're too funny. You're killing me right now. All right, watch the chat. Did it go?
Yep.
How come I'm not getting it? Where is it? Where is it? Why can't I see? Oh, there it is. Oh. VR Game Explorers, you have won the giveaway. What I need you to do is, hang on here. There you go. If you would like to send an email to diggingcanuck@gmail.com with your mailing address, and I will send that to Ryan, and Ryan will ship it out to you. If you do not send an email to diggingcanuck@gmail.com within 7 days, well, Ryan's going to have to either keep that or find some other nice person to give it away to. So, yeah, there you go. diggingcanuck@gmail.com with your mailing address, and we'll get it out to you. All right? All right? Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. Let me get rid of that. There you go. Back to Ryan. Right on, right on. Let's see if there's any parting words. Parting words for our guest. I don't know. What have you got to say there, Ryan? What have you got? What have you got to say?
Well, the future's bright. I would say to any new detectorists or anyone even interested in the hobby that there is indeed so much treasure out there to be found and memories to be made. This hobby is absolutely incredible. It will take you to places, and you're going to meet amazing people. Can't recommend it enough. Go out there, spend the money, get the ticket, get a machine, and get some help learning it as well. And from there, the sky's the limit. As for my channel, I appreciate anybody who stops by to check out what I've been doing. And again, look forward to seeing our live from the field live streams where you can win more silver, you can win detecting gear, and watch us real time try and save some bits of history out of the ground. And you're going to be right there with us. So please please keep an eye out for that. It's coming soon.
Right on, right on. And just want to say that if you do check out Ryan's channel, watch a couple videos, leave a comment on the video so that YouTube knows that, you're an active user and you're just not, one of those bots that just subs channels. So be an active subscriber. It helps the algorithm to push Ryan's videos out to more people, and that's always a good thing.
For sure. I appreciate it. Being a small fish in a big pond can be challenging. So I appreciate anybody who stops by to check it out. And I'll hit you back with the sub too, if this is what you do.
There you go. There you go. Ryan, it has been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. And it was painless, was it not? It was easy, right?
Oh, easy peasy. Liz, you make it easy. You're so chill.
Now,
This is great. Thank you so much
oh,
again.
you're very welcome. Have a great day, and keep us. Maybe I'll make the drive up to Kingston sometime in the warmer weather, and we'll go detecting.
I'll save you a special piece of real estate, Liz. Love to have you anytime.
Right on, right on. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you. Take it easy.
All right, bye bye.